don't even know. Hello and welcome to the Master of Unlocking podcast.
3, 2, 1.
Yep.
3, 2, 3,
Yep.
2, 1.
We're not even gonna do it. Yep.
3, 2.
Now I'm just clapping.
We nailed it.
Perfect. I think it's great. All right, and we're good to go. So there you go. First things first, Caleb, you're in a different location.
I am. Yeah.
Yes.
I am in a very much unpacked location.
Yes. We
So,
moved
yeah,
Caleb this week. Yes.
You'll notice that I have a shelf of random things.
I see that. Yes.
I have roughly half. Which way do I have to turn? Okay, that way. Roughly half of my video game collection on shelves.
Okay.
In random order because I just threw them up there just so I had a backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
I have cardboard box full of stuff there. And then this is new today. This is pretty cool. I wanted to show this to you guys.
Okay.
My sister made me this sign for the house.
Okay.
And it's really cool. So it.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Oh, that is cool.
It's a welcome sign
with Luigi as your L.
It's got Luigi as the L and Mario as the M.
That's pretty great.
That's pretty cool.
Right?
The font matches up pretty well. I like it.
Yeah, and it's like the Mario font too. She did a
really
good job.
I'm
gonna put it back here.
Okay. Yes, as well it should.
There it is. I like it. Are you gonna put that on the front porch, you think?
I don't know, because I don't really want to welcome people to my house.
I don't blame you.
Well, you do have that fancy written calligraphy style, no soliciting on your front door.
Right.
So that is so that's the main part there.
This might just go in the living room. Like once you're in, you're welcome. But like I don't want to attract random people. So
No. Yeah, you don't want any of that business. No, not at all. So yeah, exciting world of home ownership. Welcome to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Blessing and a curse. It's all. Yep. Enjoy.
Yeah. So you have been rather busy with this week with that. So obviously your gaming and TV might be a little lax, but I do anticipate you at least having tried the new original or new classic chicken sandwich, right? Is that what it was?
Well, let me tell you. Yes, I have tried this, and if this might give away my rating at the end of the segment.
Okay.
I actually had this sandwich twice.
Oh. Okay. Did you at least get one of them free via the app?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That is one thing I guess we're finding as we try these new menu items is they do tend to offer up one on the app for free, which is good. I have already deleted my Sonic app, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. So okay, yeah. So Caleb, you obviously like your classic chicken. Is it classic chicken sandwich, right? That's what it is.
New classic chicken.
The new classic chicken sandwich. Right. And so did you get everything on it? The regular. So it didn't go spicy.
No
spicy. Okay, with lettuce, tomato, pickle, mayo.
Yep.
Okay.
Is the spicy also new, or is that the same one?
I don't know if it's the classic spicy. Or if it's the new.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not really sure. But yeah, I had it as well. Jason, I assume you've had it because I think you were the one who told us about the app.
I did. There it is.
Yep.
It is called the classic chicken sandwich.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just the classic chicken sandwich, from what I can tell. There we go.
We couldn't tell if it was the spicy classic chicken sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want
I think it's I don't think so.
So Caleb,
they're different.
So you had it twice. I had it once, and I think I will never have it again.
Really? You don't like it?
Mine was pretty dry, I would say. Was not a great experience. I would not rank it very high in my ranking of chicken sandwiches.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
this
would definitely be toward the bottom.
For me, this is the best thing that I've eaten that we've had so far.
Really? Well, okay. That's
Tell me quickly about your locations. Did you both go to the same location?
College Avenue.
Caleb.
Yep.
Okay. So we all three did. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, 'cause there is the
Different
other one.
day, different time. I'm curious when you guys went.
Saturday lunch for me.
Okay, Caleb, when'd you go?
We had 2
I
different experiences.
don't remember. This week has been a blur.
Were they both good both times?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so that's I think an important thing. For me it was just dry. Like I felt like I was just constantly needing to drink something with mine. Like I was just kind of like,
okay.
ugh. I don't know.
That could be just an individual palate thing. Caleb, do you like your food wet? Do you like your food dry? Do you like condiments? Or are you more like
maybe that's it because I'm okay with dry. I'm more of a white meat chicken than a dark meat chicken kind of guy.
And I'm a dark meat chicken guy.
That's probably
I like my chicken juicy.
Yeah,
maybe that is just a personal preference thing. So we're both on kind of opposite ends of the spectrum here, Jason. Where'd you fall?
Mine, unfortunately, I don't know if mine was prepared correctly.
Oh.
I'll say that, but
like undercooked or
a little bit like underfried. Mine, it was mushy. My chicken sandwich was mushy. It was kind of like it was microwaved instead of fried. And so I thought the flavor was okay. But I didn't get the necessary crunch. And I don't think my batter tasted quite right because I don't think it was fried all the way. I would try this again just to see if I didn't have I don't think I had the same sandwich that Caleb had. Maybe I'd be a little closer to Caleb, but because I love me a chicken sandwich, but it wasn't, I don't think mine was cooked right. So we've talked about that a lot. I think it's really interesting. Like the way that our food is assembled at these places sometimes is really different, or how they're prepared. So I'd give mine a 3. It wasn't great.
Okay.
It didn't necessarily taste bad, but I don't think it was cooked for the proper amount of time. Like the meat was fine, but for whatever reason it was soggy and not as crispy. Caleb, are we going for crispy? Is it supposed to be crispy?
I don't know if I'd say necessarily crispy, but
okay.
like a good batter on it for sure. Okay. Are you doing a 5-point scale here or a 10-point scale?
10.
Oh wow, okay, you're 10. Really low.
Yeah, see, I didn't like it, but I would say it's at least a 4.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that mine was made properly, honestly, because if I can't imagine the soggy nature of the batter for me is what they're going for. It's got to be a little more dense, crunchy, just enough crunch, So the best way I can describe it is if you've ever thrown a chicken sandwich in a microwave instead of like an oven.
Yeah.
That's really what it,
like a frozen chicken patty. Yeah.
Yeah. If you microwave it, sure, it's going to heat fine. It's going to taste fine, but it's going to be like, it's going to have a weird, like squishy consistency. And that's what mine was like. So
I got kind of the same consistency as like their chicken nuggets almost.
Oh, see, no. Okay. There you go. That really helps me. Yeah. Cause it was way soggier than their chicken nuggets. Yep. In fact, I had so much room on my order, dollar-wise, not calorie-wise, unfortunately, but dollar-wise, I went ahead and grabbed like 4 nuggets or whatever for $1.20 in that order, and those were on point. I was like, yes, thank God, these are what I'm looking for. But the sandwich itself, the sandwich patty was, if that's similar, Caleb, then I'm thinking mine was just not prepared.
Okay. Right. So this is the first one that we're really disagreeing on.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, but I'm gonna go like, I mean, I'm going as high as like a 9 here.
Oh wow!
I really like this thing.
Oh wow, yeah. Because I'm like a 4. My fries were also trash too. Like
Wendy's fries are trash.
Wendy's fries, I think in general just are not that great. I think you're right, but I did introduce my kids to the dip your fries in the Frosty. They had not tried that before, so we did that. I think they were kind of like, well, it's better than this fry because the fries aren't very good.
Yeah.
But my daughter did like her cheeseburger. I will say I do like Wendy's cheeseburgers. So, so she liked their cheeseburger a lot. But that's not where we're rating here. No, it's all about the new classic chicken sandwich. So, all right, differences of opinion on the Wendy's new classic chicken. Do we have recommendation for next week? I thought I saw something fly through our Discord, but
Oh yeah, unless you have something else.
I do have. This would, I guess, not qualify as fast food, but I do want to try it. And I don't know if it's the Papadilla from Papa John's.
They've had that for a while.
They've had it for a while, but now they have a cheeseburger one.
Oh, okay.
But I'm willing to stick to fast food if there was something else.
I think Papa John's. If it's not fast food, let's throw it in the quality of food category.
True. It
qualifies.
I would say Pizza Hut, Domino's, Papa John's qualify in that category if you're talking pizza. But if was there anything else that was there something from Dairy Queen? Is that what you threw out there?
Yeah, there was a Dairy Queen burger that I saw on there, but
I'm good.
Up to you guys.
Is that the thing with onion rings? Isn't there something with onion rings?
Yeah, it was like barbecue sauce and onion rings and stuff, I think.
I don't care.
Was
I
it
can go either way.
Thing? Is that what it was?
Oh, I think you're close there, Logan. Maybe that's
maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, hold on. Let me slip back through Discord here and see because I believe you sent it through Discord.
I think it did.
It's the loaded steakhouse burger. And yes, it's two patties, bacon, onion rings, and what appears to be some mayo and ketchup. Whoa.
Maybe we should do that one because I feel like that one's probably going to leave the menu before the Papadilla does.
Oh yeah, because I think that is a regular menu item. The Papadilla at this point. I just haven't tried it. So yeah, I'm good with doing the loaded A1. I will try it with the onion rings on first, but I may take the onion rings off. I'm just not an onion ring guy. But I will try it on first and they may come off.
That's fair.
I'm in. Let's do it.
Okay. I do like a Dairy Queen burger. So
I don't know if I've ever had one. Yeah, me too, Caleb. Honestly. I've had their chicken tenders, but not like a burger.
So I grew up, my small town I grew up in, I only had two fast food options, and that was Dairy Queen and Hardee's. So you get bored of one, you go to the other.
Yeah. The Dairy Queen in my small town only did the ice cream stuff. They didn't
yes, they were not a brazier as there definitely was a brazier DQ difference between those. I don't know why that was a thing, and why they called it a brazier. I'm not even sure what that means.
It's brazier.
Oh, it's brazier. Is it? The R is
obviously. It's actually brazier. Oh wait, no, that's a different thing.
That's also different. So So all right, so we're doing the DQ A1 burger next week. Fantastic. All right. Well, it is. I don't think they do flame broiled there, but speaking of hell and flame broiled, I finished Hades this past week. I got credits, so I went through 10 times. We have seen credits. I want to say worthwhile. I would say it was a worthwhile expedition to finish all 10 runs of that. I don't know if I'd recommend it for everybody, but considering there wasn't a whole lot out prior to this Friday, and if you're waiting on some stuff to come out, also having it on a Switch is nice, and, being portable and all. But yeah, the story went some good fun places, even though you got about 5 minutes of story beat after each clear. But it got to the point where each clear was only taking around 30 minutes. So yeah, once you start getting to where you're doing that, then it's not that bad. And
did you feel like you were having more successful runs? Or was it getting easier for you?
Oh yeah, I did my last 6 all in a row.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So once I got to that point and I kind of got into a groove, I didn't have an issue with beating Hades at that point. So yeah, so 6 runs in a row to end it. If I were to start to, I think that was probably the thing. If I was gonna die on 2 in a row, I think I probably just would have quit. But the fact that it was like, oh, the story keeps moving, I'm not dying. I had a run where I kept all my death defiances toward the end. I think like run 8 or something. I had all 4 death defiances left. I was like, okay, I'm kind of in the zone now. So yeah, and each time it just was it was secondhand to just go through and beat that game. Like you learned everybody's movement types. You did get some boons that maybe weren't that great, but you still found I found ways around it because you'd start to figure out, oh, if I go to this person and get this boon, I'll get their trashy like passive boon and then wait for like another one to pick up the good attack boon or the good dash boon from this person, because as you progress through a little bit farther, the rarities get a little bit better with each person. So yeah, that's kind of what I
Did you
found.
did you stick with the sword?
I did. So after feeling like I think the what is it, the oh my gosh, I can't even think, it's not the long
The
thing.
spear.
Spear, yeah.
Spear.
Spear. I'm like, what is that thing? Yeah. The spear I felt like was great to get myself to that point to where I had gotten all of the upgrades and everything. But then once I had all the upgrades, I felt like the sword was faster and stronger, and I could easily dash in and out of things that were a little more difficult. I will say the one thing that really would get me, if I didn't have a good, I needed a good long cast, something to separate myself in the last, like the last level where the rats are with the poison, because you just can't get that close to them, and you'll end up losing some lives in there if you don't keep your distance from those. So.
I saw somebody say that with the bow,
Mhm.
one of the upgrades for the bow is that it automatically does a cast whenever you attack.
Hmm.
And I was like, holy cow, that could just wreck everything if you build that right.
Yeah.
So that kind of made me interested to maybe go back and try some of those builds, but I'm not sure if I will or not.
Yeah, I thought about going back and maybe messing around with some other builds, like because now I'm in the true post game, I feel like, and I haven't done a run since then, and I just don't know when I'll get around to doing it. But I would like to do another one just to kind of even see what's the post game like.
Yeah, we may, depending on if I go back to it or not, we may have to have you just spoil what happens in the story when we get to
Okay,
that point. But
that's fine. Yeah, yeah, but I will let you guys continue. Yeah, go through that because it is a good story and how they do that. But at the same time, you are going through about 30 minutes of focus and concentration to get a few minutes of story beat. And depending on how
yeah.
much effort you'd already put in up until that point, it's whether you want to commit to that or not. So, Jason, you were playing a little bit more of that, were you? Where have you ended
Yeah,
up here?
I haven't completed a run yet, but I think this week was um kind of a big, like, Hades clicked for me in a way that it
Mm-hmm.
hadn't yet. Like, I started to really understand, and maybe you guys know this from finishing a run, even you, Caleb. Like, um, it went from feeling unattainable by design to obtainable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had a couple of, it's maybe been like 3 or 4 really good runs. I haven't reached Hades yet, but I'm starting to, um, like, the rats and the poison. I think is as far as I've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
But
Those things are a pain in
that
the
Oh,
ass.
was
okay.
that's what I like, and that's the thing is, like, I got there and, like, this is new. I don't understand what's happening. Why am I getting hurt? And you just kind of have to digest that and then start another run in the way that you digest everything. Um, what is the level with the Minotaur and
Elysium.
Elysium? Yeah, so you go through that and you digest a halfway boss battle and then a full boss battle, and so, like, you learn stuff along the way. But
Mm-hmm.
my builds right now are mostly not really focused on the weapon because I'm still boosting dark because I need dark still.
Yeah.
I'm not near the. I don't have enough dark to really unlock boon rarity the way that I need to kind
Mm-hmm.
of really start to stack runs, right? But um, I think that I see why, Logan. I think at this point in your experience with Hades, why you like the spear.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I also I think that I've just realized, like, I have a play style that works for me, that gets me a little farther each time, and I
Yeah.
think that I can use each weapon that way. it's mostly a mix of dash strike and
dash strike's the way to go.
Strike. And so, once I've targeted specific upgrades that I want for my play style, it's gotten to the point where, and I didn't think it was right. Like I was covering my distance and really kind of being super cautious. And then one run, because of the way that my upgrades were coming to me, it was pretty much like, well, my best option is to just dash strike across enemies over and over and over, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then I was like, oh, that's what you're supposed to do. Pretty much, regardless of weapon.
I think
it just depends, unless you're going to do distance.
Until you come across certain enemies. You get the kamikaze things that are in Elysium, those, I don't even know what you call them, those cart things that'll just come run at you and blow up. You can't dash strike through those. They'll murder you. You can't dash strike through the rats because they'll poison you. Yeah. Yep. So.
Yeah, I think
that was a lesson I learned.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does a really good job of like letting you like influencing your play style through your build. So you get if you see a boon that you want, or if you don't see one that fits with that dash strike playthrough style, you might see a different one that then influences the way that you play the game, which I think is pretty cool, because it's like, and it does a really good job of encouraging you to mix up the weapons, because it has you get the additional dark if you, So like it does a really good job, I think, of encouraging you to experiment and try different tactics all the time, which is really cool, because usually when I get into a game, I find something that works and I do that over and over again and have no reason to do anything else.
Right.
But in this game, there's a reason to mix it up.
Yeah, and I definitely did the experiment. It was kind of experimental stuff, and then it's like once I kind of figured out, okay, well, this is where I'm getting the farthest and where I'm getting the most dark. All right, for me, the spear made sense. I speared all the way up until I got to the point where I was like, okay, I maxed everything out. All right, now let's play around with something else and see. Now that I've maxed everything out, what's going to be my best runs for me, and for me it was the sword. But yet I hear a lot of people say the sword is complete trash, and that you should never use the sword, and like the guns are the way to go. I don't know, everybody's got a different play style, but for me that was what I found that worked the best for me. So everybody's different though.
Yeah, my clear was on the guns, so
yeah.
I get that.
Yeah, and I was terrible with the guns. I don't know why, I just couldn't figure them out. But I think I was more of a dash strike playstyle person, so using the guns just didn't work that well for me.
Yep.
So
I found that even with the guns and ranged weapons, I'm still doing dash strike primarily, but that's also because I don't think I've learned as much about the game as you guys have yet. But that's
it just
the
depends
idea.
on which boons you get.
It really does.
It really just if you get ones that are, like the one that got me through the game was the 300% bonus damage on your special. So like I was just hammering special the whole time and trying to keep distance from everything.
So you were just lobbing those grenades in there then, or whatever they are.
Yeah, so I was just dashing around, but the caveat was that they could also damage you. So I had to be a little careful about where I was, but just constantly dashing around to the edges of the arena and shooting into the middle of it was kind of how I got through.
Okay.
But if I wouldn't have gotten that boon, then who knows what play style I would have had to do that for that.
Yeah, for me, what seemed to be what always work out the best was there's a boon where you get 40% health, but with every successful attack you gain two health back, and then also increasing your attack speed. So I needed the Daedalus with that one, and then Hermes because I wanted attack speed, and then the other one I always look for is anything with reflect or deflect with Athena, because anytime people are shooting anything at you, especially if I could use the dash with it, because it was just anytime any of the arrows or anything shoot at you, just dash and everything would fly off of you and go right back at whoever was hitting you. So that was always another one that I tried to go for. Artemis is always the other person I'd go for because there's always a good chance that any of the boons they provide are criticals. So like there's a good chance that like you'll get a passive of okay, your attack speed is up by 20 and your chance for critical is 15%. Like that kind of stuff would help out a lot. So, but as for cast, as long as it was distance, I didn't care what it was. Same.
Are you guys? Do you guys use cast much? Because I don't think I'm using it enough, frankly.
I didn't use it enough until later. The one thing I found is that I think there's a couple boons out there that say once you some passive boons that like once you complete like all of your casts that you have in your inventory, depending on I think you can get up to 3. That whoever you've casted that on, they'll have the little diamond above their head on what it is, but they'll take more damage. So it's like once you cast it at them, then it's like they take 50% more damage if you hit them while they have that in them. So that's another one of those things that's nice to have. So I think once I started doing that, I found that I was using it more. But at the same time, early on, I never used it.
What's your run total, Logan?
I think I was at like 40 something.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I didn't beat Hades until probably 27, something like that. And then I had a couple runs where I didn't beat him, and then I think once I got up to, so I think four successful ones, and then I went and I got all 6 in a row after that. But it definitely took a while to get to that point. I think a lot of people are getting closer to like up mid to upper 20s is kind of I think the average.
Yeah, I think people were saying it seems to be like 25 to early 30s is this kind of the sweet spot where most people are clearing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
mine was only at like I think 14, but I got a really really lucky set of boons. So
and it is sometimes it really is just about the boons you get, and sometimes the pair that with the doors you walk through, because sometimes you'll walk, especially in Elysium, if you walk through one of those doors midway and you run into the Minotaur halfway, that sucks, but it happens and you can't control it. So he does start off the final boss fight a little lower, but it still shows him with a full bar, but it seems like his health bar goes down faster. That's about it. But early on, when you run into him by yourself, if you don't know how to fight him, you got to learn. It's just like any other boss fight in a game like that where they've got a couple move sets. It's like you got to learn to stick, back off when they're getting ready to do their spin attack. I found that the Minotaur and Hades are actually very similar fighting styles. But
yeah, I can see that
because they both have that spin attack.
That's encouraging for me to hear because I've never lost to the Minotaur ever. So I always wreck the Minotaur.
Oh, good.
And maybe it's a playstyle thing, but then I said, that rat room, I just totally my life melted away. I was like, what the hell is happening? I don't know what's going on.
You got to go find the little pools of stuff to cure yourself from the poison, and
I don't know what those are. I mean, I literally went in there and it just all melted away. I didn't know what was going on.
Every room has a cure thing in it. A little
it looks like a little fountain.
Looks like a little Buddha fountain type of thing.
Okay.
If you get poisoned, run over to it and press R1.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yep.
So. But those rats, you can, when you go into a room, it's completely random where they start, and if they start right on top of you, it's like you're going to take a bunch of damage real quick.
It's try to keep your distance and maybe even get yourself close to one of those fountains. The worst though is the alien looking dudes who later just throw poison at you. Those guys are those guys can eat it. I hate those guys. They're the worst. The rats I can at least deal with because they just kind of stay in one spot and they shake some poison or whatever. But no, these guys will throw them 30 feet across the map at you. It pisses me off. But yeah, you don't get those. I don't think those show up until after you've at least done one playthrough. So there at least you have that. But all right. Well, so that was Hades. I guess yeah. So Jason, you'll be plugging along more at that maybe here and there. I know we got stuff
We'll
coming out.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
Stuff coming out
the
here.
games coming out. Yeah, we'll see. It's kind of it would be a bitter spot for me to stop because I feel like I'm like on the cusp, you know.
Right.
But we'll see because I have a couple of games this week that I'll probably focus more on.
Right.
So.
Don't you just call me a moron?
Yes,
Okay.
you moron.
I know.
You moron that plays Watch Dogs Legion?
I am a moron that plays Watch Dogs Legion. So how far has everybody kind of played into that at this point? In general hour guess. I'm gonna say I'm about 4.
Probably about 2. I cleared the first zone. Whatever it was called. I can't remember what it's called.
There's a zone?
Yeah, you know how the map is split up into like 9 sections.
So you've crossed the bridge.
So I did the first, like it was like a series of probably 3 or 4 missions, and then it's like this area is liberated or whatever.
Oh, so yeah, you have flown on the construction drone?
No.
Oh, okay.
I haven't done that yet.
Jason, have you?
I played for 45 minutes.
Ah.
No.
Okay.
And that was just before we started chatting this evening.
Okay. So you've gone through the prologue probably, and that's about it.
I am in the fight tutorial, to be specific.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I just found
exactly where you are.
I found I picked my character, and then I decided I'd experiment with auto drive while juggling some things. So I hit my marker to the hideout and then let it auto drive me there while I kind of ran around and did some stuff. And then I got there and kind of looks like I'm setting up the new DedSec headquarters in that spot, and that's where I'm at.
Got it. So since I'm the only one who's, I guess, kind of gotten decently far, Caleb, you've played a few missions or so. This just seems like GTA, kind of, at this point.
I don't get GTA out of it.
Really? It feels a little GTA-ish to me with kind of some first level Watch Dogs on it, like Watch Dogs 1. I think the only thing that I don't like the story. I think it's told very poorly through their AI and their random person who's being remote. It's also every other word is, and I'm not a prude person by any means, but every other word is fucking shit, just constantly.
Oh, really?
Oh, constantly for me. Maybe it
depends on your character.
On my character, but it is just a non-stop F-bomb like extravaganza. I had it on a little bit ago, and I was like, I had to just stop because my kids were around. I'm just like, okay, like this is out of control. Because then they dropped a C-bomb, and I was like, whoa, okay, yeah, like, like we're in London, that's for sure.
Limeys.
They are.
My guy says bruv a lot, and cuz he says cuz a lot.
I somehow have only females, and 4 out of the 5 of them are all old. I don't know how that came to be.
My concern for this game, I agree with you that the story is not very captivating, and I don't really like the voiceover work that the narrator is doing. My concern for this game is that since you don't have a like standard protagonist, there's not going to be a whole lot to latch onto as far as story or character development at all. So I think it's going to make it just seem kind of like a generic open world game, which isn't the worst thing, but I just don't think it's going to stick out. I think that's why you kind of identified it with GTA, is just because it just feels like a generic open world game.
Yeah.
Like, not saying that GTA is, but saying that it's kind of emulating what you've seen done
when
better.
I say GTA game, I'm talking like GTA 3.
Okay, yes, I can see that.
Yeah, like not a modern GTA where there's a good story behind it. Like, it feels like I'm going through the motions of these events without a whole lot of stakes without really caring about the people involved. Uh, the VO work, even for the people who you're, whatever your people that you have, has been pretty bad. Uh, and when I, and not like, I'm talking like full lip sync doesn't, the voice doesn't match what the person looks like at all. The lip sync is way off. I've seen names of people get thrown out there and accents that are don't match what that person looks like at all. um it's like, sorry to stereotype, but you can't put someone with an Indian name on, like, someone from India, Pakistan, somewhere that area, and make them an old white British woman. It just doesn't work. Like, you can't put the name and the accent on that type of person. It just, it's like they just hit the random button and they didn't quite think it through. And
yeah, I think this game's going to be fine. I think it's going to be fun to play. And you guys know me, like, it's a game
it's
with
an
a bunch
open
of
world
icons
game.
on a map. So I'm going to really like it. But it's I don't think at the end of the day, like when we're talking about this a year or two from now, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, Watch Dogs Legion, that game existed. I don't think it's going to be super memorable. Hopefully I'm wrong in that regard, but that's the impression that I get from playing a couple hours of it.
Are you playing on PC?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So I've got an Xbox One, or One X, and a One S. I started on my X, and then took it upstairs and played it on the S, just so I could be a little more on the same level as family and different things like that, which is also a bad idea, I've come to find out, based on the language. But boy, that game really struggles on an S.
Really?
It has a lot of screen tearing, just general performance issues, but the screen tearing is probably the worst part of it. A lot of stuff just is popping in. If you go to, rotate the camera, it is just like there's just stuff all over the place. Like, it's pretty bad on an S. X looks fine. I don't know what a Series X is going to look like. I'll be curious to see what that is. I don't think there's a ton of upgrades for it, but I think that they said it is a little more optimized. So I'm thinking with this, I may play it a little bit more and then wait till I can maybe get my hands on a Series X and see, because I think with this game, I'm not going to care much about the story. I could even see this myself being this could be a podcast game.
Yeah.
Because the story's not that great, but I'm still having a decent time going around doing stuff, but not enough to care about what they're talking about in the story at all. I can read some subtitles if need be.
The character I just unlocked before I stopped has access to the combat drone. So I'm looking forward to putting a drone out there and then going and stunning a bunch of people.
Yeah. See, I don't have a. So it's interesting that we have some slightly different story beats, maybe, because
not story beats necessarily. I just think it's just completely random, kind of.
Well,
what
see,
you
no,
get.
I actually the person I got, it was a mission specific thing, and it was probably my second mission after the tutorial about using the construction drone. That's why I was very surprised that you said you didn't have it. You didn't come across it.
Was that okay? So you go to a building and there's drones and stuff flying around, and you have to find the ones that are on the ground, and you can hack them and fly them around. Is that what you're talking about?
No, this was like you found a construction worker to join your group, and her specialty was construction supply drones, and you literally hopped on this giant drone and you flew it around town, and you picked up a server from the top of a building and then dropped it off into a truck.
Interesting. Yeah.
And that was my second mission the after the tutorial stuff when you set up DedSec.
I kind of wonder if the missions are set up because at the beginning, when you pick your initial person, everybody's got a different ability.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the missions correlate to,
Maybe.
because maybe there's something that my character couldn't do that he needed to be able to do that mission. I don't know.
Maybe I picked the person with faster hacking skills. That was my.
I did the one that could release just a regular drone.
Mm. So I guess maybe everybody's going to have a little bit different experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting. So I mean, I think the game's fine. It's not like I dislike it, but it's yeah, I'm glad to see the story's not really grabbing you either, just because I'm like, am I missing something here? But yeah,
Nope.
yeah, I think it's just kind of weak in general. But I think it does kind of go back to the fact that you're not the same person all the time. It's a great experiment, but just maybe doesn't quite work in a single player story.
What are the load times like on PC, Caleb? You're on
I
an
haven't
SSD, right?
Yeah, and I haven't noticed, so probably good.
Yeah, Logan on One X and S.
For the most part, it's not bad. Because when you're going in and out of when you're just driving around town and stuff, there's not really any issues. And I would say anytime I have a load screen of any type, it's of my own doing. You know, like I've stopped the game, started it up somewhere, that kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I wonder. My initial load is pretty bad on my One X, but
yeah, that initial load once you get started, but then like once you're out in the city and you've got missions up and going, I don't really notice anything.
okay, yeah, I was just curious because that first one I was like, is something wrong? This has been like
No, that first load is long.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but other than that, and yeah, it's definitely a current gen game. It is designed for the current systems for sure in mind.
Yeah.
We'll see probably more interesting comparisons for games that are coming. There might be like wider performance gaps, but with this one, even though it's not running well for you on your lower end system, it is definitely like poly count, texture, lighting. It is a current gen game for sure.
And it looks fine on an X. It looks perfectly fine on an X, and I think runs okay that way too. That's why I was wondering what you're on, how PC was going and everything else. So
I think it's an interesting comparison. We'll know the answer to in a couple weeks, but both Ubisoft games we've got Valhalla, which I think is going to be a next generation showpiece, and this, which is very much not the graphical powerhouse that AC looks to be. So it'll be interesting to see what people think of Assassin's Creed on these current gen platforms versus the new one, because I feel like they're going for, at least wise from like a lighting and texture perspective and frame rate perspective with the new AC. But we'll see.
When was Legion actually supposed to be out? Early 2020 or was it fall 19?
Wasn't it March this year?
I think it was. I think it was
supposed to be in March this year. But... yeah, so it wasn't designed to be even designed to be a next gen game. Where Valhalla was designed with the idea that we're gonna dual release this on current and next gen. So
we'll see how it goes. I'm curious to see what the deltas are there between the systems on Valhalla for sure, because this is one of those like, surprise, we've got an upgraded version for you, because the target date, you're right, was not now. So
yeah,
that makes sense. Okay.
What other games do you have, Jason?
Just Spiritfarer. Yeah. That's it. You use the word outlandish for some of the later characters in that game, and I think it's pretty spot on. They save some of the I don't know, eccentric, outlandish, yeah, some of the just odd characters for later on in that game. It's fine, but it's odd from going to Gwen and Atul to the bull and the bird, whatever their name, and Bruce. Like that is just, and Gustav, like he's such a snob.
Yes.
And so it's weird. Like, and Bruce is just an insulting a-hole, you know. So like it's like I don't know, like they save some of the quirk for that later, and maybe not everyone. It introduces everyone as kind of like a sweetheart, and then some characters certainly aren't sweethearts, you know. It's kind of an interesting choice to. I would have maybe liked to seen those personalities mixed up a little bit, is what I'm saying. But I don't mind it. I think it's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
The way that and also, you know, depending upon how you unlock stuff and how you get it, characters, like that is somewhat up to you. But you know, you only have so many ways to break through these barriers and access each part of the map. So there is some level of this is the group that will interact with this group, and this is the group that will be with this group, and that. And you may see some flood in and out of those, but yeah, that's a good game.
Have you found the other lion?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have both lions now. Okay.
Yep.
I like that character a lot. I like both lion characters a lot. I think
Astrid is the one that I
Astrid's the
first.
female, yeah.
But I can't remember his name.
It's something Italian,
looks like,
isn't it?
He looks like Scar from The Lion King.
Yeah.
Isn't it like yeah, you're right. It is like
something Italian because he's supposed to be a little more of like a lover, like
Giovanni.
Yeah.
I kept wanting to say Giuliani, and I'm like, that is not right.
That's definitely not right.
Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
No. Have you planted?
Oh God.
Yeah. Have you planted the odd seed yet?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have that character. Okay. All right. I wanted to make sure you got that character at some point because that character is interesting to say the least.
Speaking of outlandish.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that game. I like that game a lot. We'll see if it and Hades are about to be attacked by an onslaught of games. So I'm going to try to see where those lie, and maybe I can come back to those both intermittently because I enjoy them quite a bit. But it's like I want to check these things out too because I already know how I feel about those games mostly, and so like. I could see myself enjoying those well into next year if I had to. I mean, they're both really good games.
You're getting close with Spiritfarer, though. You've got to be getting close.
I have most of the characters.
Yeah, I think you've
got. I haven't broken through one area. There's still one area of the map I haven't gotten through yet. That's the southwest portion of the map.
Yeah.
Logan, remember though, he has obtained most of the characters, but like. Some of them is a long way to go.
They got a long road, yeah. But I guess there is a point where there's a couple characters you don't have to get. Right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one character specifically you don't have to get, and you don't have to do all their stuff. Which I would almost recommend not even doing, because that character was the most annoying one of the game.
I thought you maybe were talking about Gustav, but maybe not.
No.
But because Gustav talks. Whoa! Just...
No. Oh no! If you think Gustav talks, you haven't seen.
It's even worse. That's funny.
Yeah, this guy, he's like a hawk or an eagle or something like that.
It's like a mythological creature. What is it? It's
Griffin.
Close.
Here.
It's like a mix between like a lizard and a bird, whatever that thing is.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it's called.
It is, but that's his thing is he is a super into Dungeons and Dragons, and he does not stop talking about it at all.
I think that like that's their dedication to quirk. You know, like these people are going to have different personalities, and they're all going to be just odd. You know, no one's a straight shooter. You know, everybody's got their little. I mean, maybe it's Tool. He might be the closest. You know, all he wants is some fried chicken. And
that guy, he just wants to eat.
Do a little work, and he's a simple man. He wants to eat. Yeah, just kind of get a hard day's work in, have a hug, and say goodnight.
I keep wanting to say chimera. He might be a chimera.
Okay,
but I don't know if that's right or not.
I don't think.
I don't know what the word for that is.
He definitely has wings, that's for sure. But I felt like he had a beak too, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it is a chimera. I don't know. Anyway, I would like to see you finish that game. That one is for Game of the Year. That one if you made me go, if you said pick one for me to try to finish, Hades or Spiritfarer, I would say Spiritfarer. Caleb, what do you think?
I would definitely agree with that. If you were up between those two.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're trying to manage your time, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, that feedback's fair, especially because you guys have both finished both of these games in a way. Caleb made you know, you at least always finished a run of Hades, right?
Yeah.
So, I do know that I enjoy playing Hades more, so that's like the push and pull for me.
That's true.
Is there's some there's narrative reward and character reward and I don't know, they're just different. They're like you enjoy your time with
two completely
Spiritfarer,
different
but
games.
yeah, like you play Spiritfarer to experience it, whereas Hades you play it to play it. You know what I mean?
You play it to perfect it
Like,
almost.
so that's kind of like, yeah, and that's the push and pull. Like I think I would rather play Hades than experience Spiritfarer. But that's also not having said, like, I haven't reached the end. I haven't set all those characters off. Like I don't know what that feels like, so I can't. You know what I mean? Like you guys are telling me one thing, and hopefully, if I do make that choice, then I feel the same reward you do.
Yeah,
you know, time is infinite. I will absolutely.
Right.
You know what?
You got all day Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, I already voted. You know, so like, what am I gonna do?
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys have Tuesday off?
Yeah.
Oh, because
government holiday,
it's government holiday. Oh, I hate you guys.
But then, yeah, that's the thing is like by then I will have. We can talk about this just because game related. I will have the new Dark Pictures game and Watch Dogs. So it's like, oh god, I went from playing 2 games to oh god, I got 4.
Now you got 4.
What do I do? What do I do? And I'll probably do the Dark Pictures game because I can burn through that real quick. You know what I mean? So
because you want to send it back to get your next
more
game.
than.
And I gotta lock my next game.
Hours, right?
I wouldn't imagine, right? And I want to kind of kill everybody like I did last time because I didn't have a guide. And the temptation for me would be like the longer this game's out, the more robust a guide would be, and I would be like, oh, I'm gonna keep you alive, but I want to just jump in there and get everybody killed.
The way to play that game is to just or those type of games, is to just go with your gut.
Is that not a Game Pass game?
No.
Really?
No.
If it is, I'll feel real stupid.
No, last year's Dark Pictures anthology game is, or 2 years ago.
Right.
Well, Man of Medan wasn't at launch. It wasn't at launch.
No. Oh, okay. No, I thought it was for some reason.
No,
I'm thinking of Blair Witch. Sorry.
Yeah, Blair Witch was a Game Pass game. Yeah, and Blair Witch, those are 2 completely different games.
Yeah. I mean, they're both horror.
They are, yeah, but like one's
a
bad first-person shooter, and one is a narrative behind the back, choose your own adventure game.
Blair Witch sucks. That game sucks. Oh, so bad. I thought it looked cool.
I did too. I wanted to give it every chance in the world, and I gave it even longer than I should have.
Game's rough. Is that games for everybody?
I think so, Caleb. I assume, Caleb. Yep. Yeah, you moved all week.
Right. Yeah.
So
I'm hoping to get more Paper Mario in, but we'll see.
Okay, that's fair. All right. So TV of the week. Caleb and I have at least, I know, started a show together. Not together, but
in spirit.
In spirit, yes. The Queen's Gambit on Netflix. I started that show because I saw it was getting some rather good reviews. As of right now, it's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I didn't know they did TV, but I found out they did do TV because there's no movies out right now, so what are they going to rate? That show's good.
It's real good.
I'm 4 episodes in. I think it's 7 episodes total.
Yeah, I only watched the first so far.
And things change a lot after the first episode.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the first episode itself was really good.
First episode's real good. Yeah. Jason, you have any idea what the show's about?
No, I've just heard about it a little bit.
Quick synopsis is chess prodigy. Girl who becomes an orphan, learns chess within an orphanage, and becomes kind of a national phenomenon in the 1960s as a chess prodigy. She's got some interesting I wouldn't call it mental illness, but some quirks. That's for sure, and a lot of mystery surrounding her parents' death and her time in the orphanage, as well as some her new life as a teenager, kind of because you start off
And
when she's 9 years old.
just so it's clear, it is not based on a true story. This
True.
is
Yeah,
entirely
this is
fictional.
all fiction. So this is not like a Bobby Fischer story or anything like that. So
I was going to ask, is this like a interpretation of Bobby Fischer's life, kind of reimagined?
I
No.
don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, if it is, it's pretty. They've stretched a lot of things pretty far. Uh, I think this is I want to say it's a novel, right, or something.
I don't know. It
I
could
think it
be. I
might
have
be
not
based
heard
on a
that.
book. But yeah, solid performances. A lot of people that you've maybe seen as side characters in things. Um, there was one of the Grandmaster chess champions that both my wife and I, like, we were pointing at the screen going, that was the kid actor from that thing, and we just couldn't nail down what it was, and then we finally got it. It was like, oh my god, like, so I'm gonna let you guys figure that one out once you get to it.
Okay.
Because yeah, like it was like, oh, like it drove us both nuts when you get to it. But I think it was in the third episode, but yeah, it's a good show all around. Enjoying that one a lot. Because
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm looking forward to getting into that deeper,
I
because
know.
that first episode really doesn't even have the main actress in it very much.
No,
So
yeah, it's the 9-year-old version of her,
yeah,
and yeah, I would say she is in that episode for.
the first like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah,
That's
I was
about
gonna say like,
it.
and I don't even think she has a line in those first couple minutes.
I think she does, but it's not
Maybe I'm
much.
trying to remember her now. Yeah, but no, she's great. And yeah, again, I'm like IMDbing everybody in that show, and
Yeah.
no real big stars there. So, but yeah, a lot of good performances too. I mean, let's talk about a random show out of nowhere that really is surprising. So
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I'm looking forward to you guys probably watching that one. So yeah, Jason, I would recommend this one for you. I think this would be up your alley. So.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, especially 7 episodes. I can get through that.
Yeah, and like I think the episode 3 and 4, I think we're both only like 45 minutes, so that works out well. I also started The Undoing. Did anyone else pull that one up yet? The Nicole Kidman, um, what? Oh my God, British guy. Why am I blanking
Hugh
on his
Laurie.
Hugh
Grant.
Grant? Hugh Grant, yeah, Hugh Grant. Although
Hugh
Sorry.
Jackman. Hugh Jackman. No.
No,
Oh, sorry.
although I will say Hugh Grant is starting to age badly. Like, I mean, he went from rom-com heartthrob to senior citizen pretty quick. Um, it's just interesting that it's like, oh yeah, like you're married to Nicole Kidman, who's 50 and still smoking hot and looks like she's like 35, but yet like Hugh Grant 60 looking like he shouldn't really be with you anymore. He looks like your dad. Like, that's creepy. Um, but no, that show, one episode, it's a David E. Kelly show, all right. That's he's got a type, and that's that show. Um, at the same time, I like that kind of show. So yeah,
What other shows would that be?
that would be Big Little Lies. That would be a little bit of Ally McBeal. That would be The
Oh, okay.
Practice. So those are kind of quirky humor, little bit of where I think with this type of thing though, his limited series stuff, he likes to throw in a little bit more murder, I guess I should say, but still a decent amount of humor, but thrown in there along with it. Nothing like The Undoing is not super funny, that's for sure, but there are some little tidbits here and there that are will at least make you laugh. A couple spots. Not definitely not intended to be a comedy, but
Okay.
yeah, it's all right. I think it's only 6 episodes if I remember right. So, it airs tonight on HBO. Let's see, is that 6 episodes? So that might be at
What
least
were the first 2 seasons of Big Little Lies? 8?
8 apiece. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I do enjoy a show that realizes that, hey, we don't need a filler episode. Like, I appreciate all of the streaming services and now that are not forcing an ordering of so many episodes, even though they may not have a 10 episode story to tell. Something to be said for that.
Big year for miniseries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're finding out. I think a lot of people are finding out that, hey, these miniseries things, you write a story and the story has as a front and an end, and you may not always have a second story to tell, or a second novel in that series. So just stick with what it is. I mean, I think Fargo has done it well with these anthology type series where you have it living in a universe. American Horror Story, while not my cup of tea, has done very well for itself by it being an anthology. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, we'll see where that show goes. But episode 1 was good.
It's interesting you said American Horror Story and brought up the cast of Queen's Gambit. I finished the second in the Haunting series, The Haunting of Bly Manor on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
That is basically their American Horror Story. They're years late, but that's what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the same. Carla Gugino is one of the central actors in that show. So she'll be back every season playing a character.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with some other members of that cast. That show's trash. I think the first season's okay. The second season is not very good.
The Bly Manor thing?
Yeah, it's not very good.
Okay, yeah. You mentioned you were watching it and kind of said you were a little upset with, or not really upset, but just like, yeah, it wasn't as good as.
It was fine. So what I then did, I mean, it's not. I shouldn't say trash. I've watched worse, but it's not. It's not great. It's not great.
It is totally possible to like trash too. That's fine.
Yeah.
I watch wrestling.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think that. Fair enough. I think that. I guess like there's a difference between like trash to me is like a very aware. This will be the theme for as we go through the GOTY list. Like, it's not quite Yellowstone, guys. Like, it's just not quite. It's just not that. Like, that's the bar. But like Yellowstone's aware, and like it's almost like a guilty pleasure kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I file that kind of part of my brain.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like I had slightly higher expectations for this because the first season was okay, and it just doesn't quite hit the mark in the same way. I think the first season is genuinely scary, and this one is really just kind of
happens.
Not so much. So then I was curious. It was like, well, we've got 4 more days before Halloween here. Am I done with this horror thing? And I was like, maybe not. So I watched the first episode of American Horror Story from years ago.
Oh yeah, the
very
first one with
TV is different now. Oh my God, TV is different.
I remember liking that first season.
I understand how, but I almost want you to watch like the first 15 minutes of that and tell me like, is there a bowl of Coke next to the editor's computer? Because it is whoa, like it is hard to follow. Not sure what's going on. It is frantic, and maybe it's on purpose. But if it is, because I've not watched those shows and they've been on forever.
No,
that
first episode. That was on purpose.
Okay.
I do remember because it was supposed to be set up to be like a constant, like, what the hell is going on here? Like, you were supposed to think that.
Okay. Because it is just, it's like relentless from one thing to the next to the next to the next. And it's like, it does not give you any room to breathe. There's no exposition whatsoever. It's just kind of like,
yeah, 'cause you're trying to figure out why there's a kid that lives in the attic and like the neighbor lady who actually, it's the neighbor lady's son who lives in the attic. Like, Sorry, spoiler
and she's
alert
got
for
the daughter. She's
yeah.
got the daughter with Down syndrome who
Right.
says everyone's going to die, and then
Mhm.
their relationship's falling apart, and he's got a patient who's suicidal who wants to date his daughter, and this is all within like the first 30 minutes, and their marriage is falling apart, and they're getting back together, and there's the maid who is young and sexy in his eyes and old in everyone else's eyes, and she wants to diddle him because she's like a temptress of some sort. This is just like
that show was
just fucking crazy.
and
Like
and
Dylan McDermott is just like he's all over the place. He's happy, sad, and man.
and Connie Britton's just like, what the hell's wrong with you? And was still looking hot as hell the whole time. Because,
yeah, I don't know if she's still got her fastball now years later, but she had her fastball in 2011.
She did.
Sure did.
There was a point in time where, I mean, Michael J. Fox had himself a time on Spin City between Connie Britton and Carla Gugino.
Good for you, Mike. Yeah, man. He's just
he had a run, and then Heidi Klum. I mean, he had them all on Spin City. Spin City.
Favorite sitcom of all time.
That's just great.
So that didn't work for me. American Horror Story didn't. I just cut to the chase. I was like, this isn't really what I'm looking for right now. I needed to watch because Bly Manor was not great, and then American Horror Story is just kind of. If it's an experiment, I wasn't ready for it. I was ready for like an FX show, like a well-produced FX show. It's just totally different. It's not that. So I did some Googling around, looked at my list, and I decided that something that had some horror themes to it, but was pretty well received this year was HBO's The Outsider. So I know, Logan, I think you were pretty bored by the first episode.
Very bored by the first episode, yes. I could see where it maybe was going places, but I was bored to tears.
So I want to, and if your answer is I don't know, that's fine. Because it's been a while since you've watched that. But what do you think that show is about after the first episode? Do you have any feeling on what it is?
What I would hope it was trying to. That Jason Bateman was going to be. That was going to be all about trying to free him from this false accusation of everything. But what it really seemed about was these boring ass detectives. Like, they were so dry and so boring. I could not stand to even. It was like I could sit and have 3 or 4 cups of coffee and fall asleep watching to them. Like, that was how dry they were. But I was interested in Jason Bateman's story, and I'm not even a Jason Bateman fan.
So it's based on a Stephen King novel. So that kind of tells you that the direction it may be heading. And it's definitely not about what happens in the first episode. It goes completely different direction. Something that I didn't see coming. Like, they're pretty
good way or bad way?
A good way. In a good way. Like, I didn't know this show was about what it's about. Had no clue. And it's I like it a lot. I'm on episode 9. I'm halfway through the second to last episode. It's 10 episodes. I'm on I'm in, because the way I feel about it, so a lot of shows I've watched this year, especially like the artsy fartsy ones, is that they're good. They have incredible performances. I think the message is important, but also like not recommend. Like, go forth and see if you want, kind of a thing. But this one, I'm like, I need to know if this is as good as I think it is, because I really like it a lot.
I think there are people who liked it. That's for sure.
And I think part of that is because I'm so surprised. Like, it is a Stephen King novel, so take that for where it's headed. But it goes in a direction that I didn't see coming, and in a more like, it's not quite Yellowstone, guys, but no, it's more of a TV show, than The Plot Against America, or I Know This Much Is True. It is more like, I could see how at the end of an episode, I got to see what happens next. You know what I mean? It's not like important in any way. it doesn't know that it's important. It is sheerly to entertain you in a way that Stephen King would write a book to entertain you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I kind of like about it. Like the stakes aren't high. It's kind of like this dark thing, but it's really like, especially after coming off shows that are like genuinely dark about living in the real world and the human condition, like the actual stuff that people can deal with and how sad and traumatic that can be. It's kind of fun to go on like a fantastical journey with these characters and have it be just like at the end of the episode, I'm like, oh God, where are they going with this? I got to see where they're going with this. So that it's been the first show this year I've watched that has made me crave the next episode of something. That didn't happen for me until like episode 4, until they kind of start to, you kind of start to see where it's going, but it doesn't give it to you right away. You like the characters have to kind of figure out themselves and then decide on their own merits, like how Jason Bateman's character, how he can be in 2 places at once, right? That's the curiosity from the first episode.
Yeah, it was like, oh, does he have twins? I mean, it was like,
what's the yeah?
What
exactly
personality
explains
here? Yeah, like it was very strange.
And then it gets crazier. Like, and it's hard to, without spoiling it, it's hard to talk about. But it gets a lot more interesting than just his character. And by the end of the second episode, this series has gone in a completely different direction. Because I thought it was like a murder mystery show.
That's
like
what I thought it was about, and
the first episode makes you think that that's possible, which is interesting in the perspective of the whole season. I really like it. I really like it a lot. Having said that, I don't know how it lands because I haven't finished it, so I can't be like. Because if this like takes a thud, then I'm going to tell you guys like. It just doesn't stick
a lot
landing.
of Stephen King stuff does.
Right. And so so if that happens, like I can't recommend it, but if it finishes strong, in my opinion, then I might feel more confident in recommending it. Right. So we'll see how that goes. But I really, really, really like that show a lot. I was surprised because I almost didn't watch it. Like I was almost going to let this year go by without watching it. So there you go. Good show, my opinion. But that's it. That's the only other show I watched this week.
Just one other thing that I've been watching. I decided to watch, the Walton Goggins show that everybody loves. You know what I'm talking about.
The Shield. Tell me about it. The first season.
The unicorn.
Justify. That one. Got it. Okay.
No, I needed a new show, like a new cool down before going to sleep show. So it's fine. It's fine for that. The funny thing is,
that show still on?
Yeah, it's the second season
coming back for
I think next week. Yeah.
Okay.
You watched it?
The funny thing, what?
You actually watched it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I watched most of the first season.
Oh wow. Okay, I only watched the first 2 episodes last year. Yeah.
The funny thing is, you guys are talking about Connie Britton and like and Michael J. Fox and how he had like a run on like out of his league type of women. And it's funny because Rob Corddry's in this show, and he like the 2 things I know him from best are Children's Hospital and Ballers, and in both of those shows he was always hitting out of his league. And in this show, he has a very reasonable wife. So it's just very strange from him going to like home run to, oh yeah, single.
I'm more impressed that you stuck with the unicorn.
You didn't like it?
I think it was more of I can't have my Walton Goggins be a nice guy. Like my Walton Goggins needs to be massively outlandish or overly evil. He cannot be a nice guy. Like, it's just not. There's the part of my brain that just cannot switch that part over for him. Like I need him to be a cross-dressing person from Sons of Anarchy. I need him to be an evil hillbilly. I need him to be a spokesman for the Ford Bronco. I need him to be a crazy mountain man. What else has he been? Oh, he's also been the head of a mob thing in the Ant-Man movies.
He was a sharpshooting cowboy type guy in Hateful Eight.
Yeah, like
his best role was corrupt detective, by the way, from The Shield. That's one best shows ever made.
So
we need to have a counter up here, like the Shield mentions and Yellowstone mentions.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched The Shield or Yellowstone? Have we talked about that? I mean, God, I mean, The Shield, it's not Yellowstone, but it's still, kind of Yellowstone. And it's really, The Shield is just fantastic. One of the best things ever, but it's just not quite Yellowstone.
We really do need
what is Yellowstone really? I mean, it's not quite The Shield, but I mean, what could be The Shield? Yellowstone, maybe if it tried harder.
All right, we're gonna cut him off. How do I mute him? All right. Does anyone have any other TV for the week? I think we're all caught up on things. Yeah, I think we're good to go. So, anything else for the night, or we're just gonna take a?
Well, I did have one quick question for you guys. Yes, go ahead. I was looking at our 41 games list here.
Would you like to share?
Well, I don't want to read through the whole list or anything, but I wanted to look at a couple of these and see how if you guys feel like they should be on here or not.
There's a lot of filler on there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It was more of a to get it to 41 than.
Yeah, so I'm gonna guess that you're okay just taking Fall Guys off of here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's just do that, and then.
But do you have a replacement?
Not yet, but we might.
Okay, that was my.
Well, here, maybe I'll just leave a blank spot, and if we need to add it back in, we can add it back in.
Okay, we do have we have a
put Mafia in there. Is Mafia on the list? Put Mafia.
Mafia's in
there.
it
is.
Yeah. There's Fall Guys made the list because there wasn't a lot else to put on there.
Is Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate on there?
I did not put any DLC things on there.
It's not DLC. It's a full release. Full retail release. It's not Mortal Kombat 11. It's Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate.
I don't know.
$60, man.
I feel like the Game of the Year edition, I don't think, kind of thing like that, I don't think qualifies.
Jason, are you being serious here? Or I can't really tell.
No, that's fine. No, I mean I am kind of, but that's okay. I mean, if that's I'm not gonna have that discussion tonight or even argue about
it. Let's see, NBA 2K21.
Yeah, I would leave that on there right now.
Okay. I want to play it.
Okay.
Knowing how Logan and I play those on next gen machines, let's leave it on there.
Do you also want to leave the show on here?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. The show could sneak into my top 10.
Really?
I really liked it a lot. I thought it was awesome.
Moving Out, Logan. Did you want that on there?
It can come off. You start taking stuff off. I think we're going to start putting stuff back on.
We might here, but I want to know, like, if I have a game that I like.
Oh, that you want to throw on there.
What can I eliminate from this list to put on there? Yeah.
Yeah, you can take Fall Guys off for sure. Moving Out, for sure can go on there.
Because if I start picking up some of like the smaller indie game type stuff, I just want to know like what I can throw on there at the end of the year.
I bet Battletoads can go too.
Okay.
Kingdom Hearts for sure.
Kingdom Hearts isn't.
So Melody Memory. What's the ranking of those three?
Of what?
Of Moving Out, Battletoads, and Fall Guys.
Fall Guys is trash.
I have no opinion.
So probably Moving Out.
Well, at this point, we have a game on there that literally no one's played called Half-Life Alyx.
I will play that.
Okay, didn't know if you were going to actually get to that or not. So,
Moving Out, then Battletoads, then Fall Guys. for those 3.
I'm good with all those falling off.
So if something needs to go back on the list, it's moving out.
Well, Star Wars Squadrons is also still on that list, so and we all know how we feel about that.
All right, let's put that above Battletoads.
Sure.
I just want to make sure our list actually covers.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, if you've got some stuff on there that, yeah, that's why I sent it out. Just to.
But if we do need to get back up to 41, then yeah.
I literally threw 41 games on there that I knew we all played.
Yeah.
That was it.
Wait, is Star Wars Squadrons on here? I don't see it.
Yeah.
Oh, there it
is. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Clear. Okay. I think everything else is pretty.
So yeah, that knocked a few things off the list. Yeah. So yeah, you got 4 slots now to play with.
So I got 4 slots I can kind of play around with there.
But everything that is planned to come out, at least at this point, is on the list.
Yeah, let's see what else is on. What else have I played that?
I mean, Fast and Furious Crossroads. I don't know if that's going to make the list or not, but I mean,
that definitely makes the list.
Okay,
for sure.
All right, just double checking with you.
I mean, I played The White Door. I played Sludge Life. I played Helltaker. These are things that like. Oh, I'm definitely going to put Death Come True on there. And White Ocean Big Jacket. List. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll White Ocean Big Jacket.
Because I think I had put, originally I had put Captain Tsubasa on there and you took it off.
Yeah, I'm not going to get to that. Death Come True needs to be on here. Okay. So cool. We have 2 open slots that we can play around with either. So I'll just take actually probably Battletoads goes above Squadrons.
Yeah, it does.
So Squadrons is officially eliminated then, as is Fall Guys.
What am I, let the hate flow through you? What am I supposed to say to that? Get out of here, Squadrons.
I don't know.
You're the worst. Heart Jason.
Okay, cool. So we have 2 open slots, and then if there isn't anything to go in them, we can put Moving Out and Battletoads back in. Sound okay?
Perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, I think that there's only one other game. A few of them. I think the Medium was one game I was going to play in December, but otherwise, I think everything else is on this list.
Okay.
And that's probably going to be not great. So.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Pre Game of the Year content. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Way to go, Caleb. Nice job.
This is how I approached packing as well. If I just do like half an hour to an hour of a day, then by the time it's good to go, then I'm pretty much already done. So if we just every podcast, if we just chip away a little bit, then we'll be right there.
I feel like I need to start getting like a toady list ready too.
Oh God, the toady list is going to be. I've watched so much TV this year, like an insane amount of television this year.
Stuff that came out this year.
Yeah, I've watched so much.
Well, what else has there been to do?
Exactly.
So, yeah, been a lull of games. There's been, this whole, virus thing.
Because I keep a spreadsheet of that because of course
do?
I do.
Yeah, I was. If you do, would you want to throw that out somewhere so that we can?
It's almost embarrassing. Of shows that have aired this year, there are currently 68 on that list that I've watched and finished.
Game wise,
or I'm caught up with.
You're over 40 too, so
yeah. And then if you add in the stuff that's older, that's 94 shows.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know what
you knocked me off my feet, Caleb. Help me, Jesus, help me, Tom Cruise. That's a lot of TV. My God, man.
Right? And
Logan,
a lot of that
do
is
you
like
have a
full
list?
series too.
I don't. It's not 60, that's for sure.
I have a list. Talk amongst yourselves.
I
Let
need
me
to
see
put
if I can
together a
find it.
list. But the question is, Caleb, have you started watching Good Luck Charlie?
No, I have not.
That's. I know,
Yeah, I want. I have access to Disney Plus now, so I could do
okay.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you needed help with that, I could get you some help with that. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, that is my family sitcom from 2010 to 2013 that we have been going through as a family right now. We are on season 3 of 4 seasons. It's it's a very very exciting show right now. I can't even get into it. There's so many spoilers.
I think I added that to my I
Your
want to watch at some point list.
okay.
I have, in combination of completed
Mm,
and watching, 20 shows.
20 shows.
The other thing
So
too,
less than a
Jason,
third.
remember I watch a ton of comedies, and you tend to watch a lot more dramas, so
That's
that
true.
makes sense.
That's true. I guess you're right. When you look at minute to minute, sure.
Yeah, gosh, I'm okay. I'm gonna have to go in and like start a toady list here, and God, I don't even know.
I feel like too, as we approach Toady,
Hmm.
this year might be a little more. I don't know. I don't know if we have the clear winners that we've had in the past because we're missing some of our favorite shows anyway. So it'll be
Hmm.
interesting where we all land because we've had some pretty easy agreements the past few years,
I would like
especially
us.
towards the top of the
Yeah,
list.
I think
So I
it.
wonder if
Yeah.
we'll have different favorites this year for the first time.
Can
Seems
we
like it to me.
can we each bring like a personal top 10 to that too?
Mhm.
I think so. I think that's
Yeah,
the way to do
I
it.
think we need to do that because there's TV is a little more subjective.
Sure.
I mean, games are too, but there's I think we all like a lot
Maybe
of different
isn't
things.
isn't that kind of what we did for when we did Game of the Generation? Is we kind of each came with our own list and then combined all those lists.
I feel like that's what we did.
I can't remember now. I think we
Didn't we
kind
Yeah,
all
of.
we
come up
kind
with
of
like a top 20 or something and then
Mm,
combine them all?
yeah, that's how we culled that list. Maybe that's the way to go this year, especially because I don't think it's going to be as fluid as it has been in the past. Because we haven't. I think maybe there are shows that we all like, but I bet as far in the love category, I bet we're all talking about different shows this year,
yeah.
which
Do
has not happened
we
before.
did talk about at one point, and we don't have to do it, but the docu-series versus series. Do we
I'm
want to
certainly okay
separate
with
them?
that.
Do we just want to separate those two out? Fiction
I'm
versus
I'm good with
nonfiction?
that. But Caleb, do you have any objections to that?
I feel like if we do that, we should also split out comedy drama.
I'm also okay with that.
I think I'm good with that too.
Well, but there's some
There's some that are the
that really
dramedies.
blur the line. Yeah.
Well, and that's the trick with us where
Hmm.
we've thought about Atlanta and Barry and how we've awarded those
Hmm.
shows because I think we've enjoyed putting those at the top of the list regardless
But
of
you could throw those
them.
both in a drama and a comedy category too.
Right.
Either one of
And as
those.
long as we're okay with the same show winning in multiple categories, then
Yeah.
Well,
if it comes to that,
Mm.
why don't we, now that I think about it, maybe we should just do what you initially said because it's much easier to separate fiction versus nonfiction.
Hmm.
But what if
Yeah.
it's based on a true story?
Based on a true story acted out versus an actual like, hey, this is footage of this actual event happening and we're
Okay.
interviewing people. I mean, The Last Dance, Tiger King, McMillions. Those are three right off the top of
Yeah.
my head. The one with Patton Oswalt's wife,
I'll be
the
gone in the
I'll
dark.
Be Gone in the Dark. I mean, all those those are docuseries. Like,
Yeah. Because the only other way that I can think to do it is just do like a minute count. Like if your episodes are under 35 minutes or over 35 minutes.
mm,
No, let's just do
Okay.
docuseries and then everything else.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's do scripted television and docuseries. You know, Kayla, you're
Ooh,
concerning
yeah.
me a little bit. You know that Fargo, even though it says that at the beginning of I mean, do we need to talk about that? I know you said it's,
yeah, no, it's 100. That's a documentary, isn't it?
The whole thing is always has been.
Well, yes, the names have been changed, but the rest is exactly as it occurred, out of respect for the dead.
I got to admit that they had me for like the first half of the first season.
Yeah.
With that.
Me too.
I wasn't gonna Google it. I was just gonna watch. Yeah, I'm with you. I was like, I'm not gonna fucking Google this. I'm just gonna watch this and see what happens. And then it's like, oh, this is insane. This didn't happen.
Yeah, and then it's like that totally did not happen.
Wait a second.
Like it's like you start Googling stuff and you're like North Dakota. No. Like this never happened, and then you just feel like an idiot afterwards.
But then you begin to love it. And I know for you guys, like at least when it's for the first 3 seasons, like as they get into the first scene of that episode, it's like, oh, how are they going to put the text on the screen this time, and what's going on, and what story are they trying to tell right away? I love that. Love it. I also forgot that Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele were in the first season of that show.
I was just going to say, I think that's the moment for me where I'm like, okay, Key and Peele did not break into a government building and literally murder every person in here or witness the murder of every person in that building. That did not happen.
Oh man, it's there. Oh, the cast. That's first season. It's really good. It's really great. It's on point, man. So good.
Yeah, I'm trying to come up.
Have you guys watched that show? I think we've all stopped. I will finish it, but I haven't watched it actively.
I'm up to date on it.
You're up to date. How
are you?
How are we doing on that show?
It's fine.
It's fine.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's good for TV. I think it's bad for Fargo.
That's
totally fair.
I think that was kind of my assessment on it to start with. How is Timothy Oliphant's character now that he's on the show?
Timothy Oliphant.
He's the guy from Justified. He's the religious detective. Or actually, he's a U.S. Marshal.
Yes, yeah.
He's a marshal.
Of course, yeah. I knew he was. He hadn't been on the show yet since we'd started, so that's why I was curious where his role came in.
He's good.
He's good. Okay.
Yeah,
I've liked him and stuff. So
he's one of the. If you're looking for the typical Fargo quirky characters, he's one of a very few in this season. So.
The guy he's chasing, I know you guys didn't watch Boardwalk Empire, but the corrupt cop, the war veteran, who's got the tick, Caleb. You can't open the door without. That does make me laugh. There is some stuff about this that is still genuine Fargo. The guy looking, he has to knock on the door 3 times before he opens it up. That guy's really good, I think too. He's a good actor. I like him a lot, and he's got some of that quirk. So,
I think everyone on the show generally is doing a pretty good job of acting, but with the exception of Chris Rock, which is very weird because he's like the biggest name in this.
But yet he's still a comic.
I think I think he's kind of given the worst performance of everybody on the show, which is very strange.
When has he done a dramatic role?
Yeah, but comedic actors have gone in and done dramatic roles.
They have, but not all succeed.
Comedy's hard to do. Comedy's harder to do.
I agree with you that it's harder to do, but it's.
I mean, look at Bill Hader and Barry. I mean, he just absolutely killed it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at even some of look at some of Jim Carrey's more dramatic roles. Look at Adam Sandler's more dramatic roles. They do okay in those, but they always get the caveat, oh, they were so good for a comedy actor.
Yeah.
I feel that's how I felt about last year about The Spy. I thought Sacha Baron Cohen was great in The Spy.
He's also a good actor.
But he's always going to be. He's
always going to be a comic. Yeah, he's always going to be. He was in movie we watched. He was
Talladega Nights. Logan, I know.
No, Hugo.
I don't think I saw that. Actually.
It was kind of like a family movie about a clockmaker. He wasn't like a major character in it, but he played a sub character in it, but did a good job in that. Was not a comedy role at all, but he did a good job in that movie. I remember he was like the B character, but did a good job in that. I remember I was kind of thinking, oh, hey, look, it's Sacha Baron Cohen. Oh, you're not funny in this. You're just being an actor.
Whenever I think about Go ahead, Caleb. Go ahead.
One thing I was going to say, I forgot to mention this when we were talking TV, is that it's I usually don't talk about the comedy shows that I watch because there's really not a whole lot you can say about a show that's in a sixth season and there's whatever.
Right.
But like, it is really interesting now seeing these shows, and how COVID is either interacting with the show or they're interacting with it. Because, like, for instance, in the Goldbergs, like, the show is set in the 80s, so obviously they're not going to have COVID on the show, but you can see the impact of it because in one of the episodes they get on an airplane and there's like 90% of the seats on the airplane are open, and yet there's a person, Tim Meadows, I think it's Tim Meadows, or maybe it's not, I don't remember. Somebody has to sit in a middle seat between two of the characters on the show. So it's like, this is very strange because almost all of the plane is open, but yet your plot point hinges on it being full. So that's a little strange. But there's also shows like The Connors and Superstore, who are totally just embracing and making COVID part of their storylines. And it's just really interesting to me to see how different shows are doing this, and if they're acknowledging that it exists or if they're just, I mean, kind of ignoring it. So that's been kind of the comedy scene lately, is just seeing how COVID plays a part, which is pretty interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't pay a lot of attention to network shows, so I didn't know that they were doing that.
I would go to John Goodman for all my COVID advice. So maybe I need to start watching The Connors right damn now.
He's actually like really good on that show. I know it's kind of weird.
Of course he is. He's a guy's a national treasure.
Actor. Yeah.
He's the best. He's the best.
John Goodman's between John Goodman and Laurie Metcalf, it's like you got a ton of talent on this throwaway comedy show.
That's what I love. I think John Goodman's a great actor, but he's also never been afraid to cash a check, and I just love him for it. I really do. I love him for it. He's like that role he played in Flight. Oh my god! Like fish out of water. Shouldn't have been in that role. Didn't matter. Nailed it. God, as a hippie drug dealer, I mean, the father from Roseanne. What? He just nails it because he's John effing Goodman. God, he's the best. He's the best.
Is The Good Place a 2019 or 2020 show? It ended in 2020.
So, in the past, we've said if any episode airs during that current year, then it qualifies.
Yeah, there were like 4 or 5 episodes that were in 2020 before that show ended.
That's not saying that we have to do that. I'm just saying in the past that's what we've done. So I don't care. It's up to you guys.
True. Yeah, it's like as long as original air date was 2020 or whatever.
I'm good with that.
Got it.
Okay. So even if like the final episode only aired in 2020, it's still okay.
Sure, something like that. Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm just was looking through, trying to figure out what all I had watched this year. I think I am up to, of shows that I finished, I'm up to 18. Of shows I've watched and gave up on. I've probably got like 3 or 4 I'd add to that I didn't finish up, but I think I'm good. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what all I've watched. This year has been the longest year of going, so it's like, what did I watch again? Like, I don't quite remember. Like, like I watched the first 3 episodes of Devs, but I'm not counting that. Like, that show sucked. Like, I tried.
I did not like that show at all.
No, I tried. I wanted to like it. I thought it looked okay, and then it just was not good. So, yeah, there had to have been other shows I watched. I feel like I'm just kind of
this year, for me personally,
look at your profile history on stuff. That's the way to kind of
there you go.
Check. I don't know if some of that may have changed with like HBO and Netflix, but they should have profile history in there.
Yeah, maybe I just need to go through that and look through those because
that'll jog your memory, I bet.
I use an app called TV Time. It's really good. Highly recommend that. But for me personally, games this year have been way down and TV has been way up. Like, not in terms of quality, in terms of me, what I've done. I've watched a lot more TV than I normally have and not played as many games.
I think that some of that just because I think there's a big, like, there's a gap this year between bad game and superb game, or it seems like that to me is maybe just late in the year we're getting some of the the
it's
Hades
also
of the year.
It's just been a really stressful year in general. So like playing a game at night doesn't always sound appealing, but turning on some stupid TV show is.
I totally get that. Yeah, unless you can reach especially like, yeah, I know, I totally get that. It just kind of depends on the game where you're at, but like for you and me, like Ghost of Tsushima was like a comfort food thing. You know what I mean? Because you don't really have to think a whole lot. You just go and do. And there's that versus like The Last of Us, where you really had to be present and experience that. And they're just like, it depends on what you want to do at that particular time. So I totally get that. I'm with you there. Well, boys, it's officially 11 o'clock yesterday, 10 o'clock today.
Oh God, yeah, and I'm not. Yeah, I'm with you. My head is like, oh, I'm getting tired.
You guys got an extra hour last night.
Yeah, but your kids don't know that. That death stare is all you need to know.
Yeah, I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, wow, I'm up way earlier than I normally am on Sundays. And then I realized what had happened.
Mm-hmm. There's a reason
Sounds
for that.
Awesome.
It sure does. All right. Well, this has been the Master of Unlocking episode. Whatever we are on. Yeah, just whatever. It's been the Master of Unlocking podcast.
We should get a count, shouldn't we?
Yeah, we need like episode.
We should probably,
We're gonna have to start counting episodes. I'm gonna just guess that we're on of this video world that we're in. I'm gonna guess we're on episode 12.
All right, let's all take a guess, and the next week when we reconvene, are we beginning when we started doing regular recordings?
I would say since we started the video podcast, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna guess
the video podcast.
I'm gonna guess we're on episode 14.
Okay, I said 12. You said 14. Caleb, you got any ideas?
I don't think it's been that many, has it?
I have no idea.
8.
8? Okay. All right. 8, 12, and 14. We can pretty much get an answer to this really fast, but
reconvene next time.
We will decide next time. So there's your cliffhanger for the week, I guess. Yeah. It's like cliffhangers now when you're binge watching a show. Like, oh, what's gonna happen next week? Oh, you mean the episode that's starting in 8 seconds? Yeah, that one. So for that, good night. We'll see you next week.